Hello, everybody, and welcome to Friday Apocryphal Podcast, your one-stop shop for everything Friday Apocryphal and podcast. And boy, do we have a show for you today. Today we are covering the Gospel of Thomas. The rest of it.
Lines 51 through 114.
Ooh,
that is the rest of it, yeah.
Yes, so we want to see if Lawrence is going to be the heel, the face, or the ref. So those of us who are in attendance and not in the cast should vote at your leisure.
Yeah, exactly. So we're thinking of a patron goal where we have a professional wrestling match. So it's a work, but it doesn't really matter because everyone knows wrestling is a work, but it's still entertaining. So we're trying to figure out who should be the face and who should be the heel, and I guess who should be the ref. But I guess I don't really know if because being a ref isn't like super easy. Actually, because there are rules you have to remember, rules.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that you can forget about sometimes if it's good for the story.
I was looking over there.
Yeah, right. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Make sure to vote on that poll.
Jesus,
and
everyone wants you to be the
referee. Oh, my God. Lame.
That was a joke answer, guys.
I guess they want me to wrestle Chris.
Yeah, I guess I'll be the ref.
I don't even want to be on camera.
Well,
too bad.
If I got to be the ref.
What, you want me to wrestle your dad?
Yeah, that'd
doesn't want to be on camera.
Be pretty bad. So
you'd lose. Dan's OP.
We could book it that way to make him look like super powerful.
Funny.
Yeah, so classes started for me. They started for you too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, how are they going for you so far?
They're all right. My teachers are decent.
Good.
And, it's a class, man. There's a lot of work, though. I've got to write, reflection papers on the readings every week. And I've got to write, these discussion posts online and, respond to people's discussion posts. So.
Yeah, one of those.
Online course?
No.
Well,
they just do that in every course now, Chris.
That's just annoying.
Yeah.
It is annoying.
But, there's a lot of reading, too. A lot of papers, a lot of everything, really. So that's school. How's your school going?
It looks like the workload isn't going to be too much, which is good.
Great.
Taking anthropology, religious studies, and what's the fucking last class that I have? Egyptology.
Did you tell
and they're using your materials?
Yes, in the Egyptology course. If you guys, I don't know if you've seen it yet, but a while ago I made a video about the ancient Egyptian afterlife, and that was actually done for a class I took with this professor years ago, so before the pandemic. She liked it so much, apparently, that she asked if she could use it in future classes. And I was like, yeah, sure, that's cool. And now I'm taking this class, and I checked the syllabus, and there was my video on the ancient Egyptian afterlife, where she misspelled my name.
Yes, she misspelled your name.
Yeah.
So you need to get that corrected.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. I also feel like it's not like a huge deal, but whatever.
Well, your material's being taught in university classrooms now. So there you go. Have her correct your name.
Yeah, I probably should.
It's probably within the university regulations that when they cite something,
they should have the person's right name.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. And doing this religious studies course, teacher's pretty cool. He's a pastor, actually, but he was very adamant about keeping everything in the classroom secular.
Okay.
I was talking to him about, becoming like a professor in this field, and he was like, I brought up how there are some private schools that have you sign a form saying that you are this specific faith. Like, I am a Baptist, or I think it's called confessional or something, or I am a Lutheran or something like that, depending on where you go. And when he was looking for jobs, he would take, he would have to sign one of those. And when he was offered one of those, he was like, no, I'm not going to sign this. This is indoctrination. I don't want to specifically have to do this, teach these classes in this one worldview.
Right.
Yeah. So he's very serious about keeping the classroom secular and like actually sticking to the scholarship.
Well, that's excellent.
Yeah, he's fucking great. So we had a good discussion in the first class about Gnosticism.
Great. What's his opinion?
Well, the thing is, I didn't get to hear his opinion that much because when he brought up Gnosticism, like we kind of got to talking about it, and then I mentioned how we've been reading Gnostic literature for weeks, and I started talking about the Pleroma and Yaldabaoth and Sophia. So I explained like all that stuff, and that was basically it. Like that answered everyone's questions on what they had about Gnosticism. Which was great. After the class, he told me I was like a natural at this.
Wow.
That I was like, good at speaking about this stuff.
Yeah.
He also,
Doing it for years.
I told him I've been doing this for 15 years. Like it's been a while. And I told him how I was like, how we usually have like, the Hermenia commentary series. And he's like, that's just like some pretty high class, like scholarship.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, of course. That's why we pick it. That's why we pick it, because it's the best.
Yes, and we want to give you guys the best that we can.
Yeah, damn straight. So,
and one of those things, which is the best that we can, is the Nag Hammadi Scriptures, the revised and updated translation of sacred Gnostic texts, complete in one volume, edited by Marvin Mayer, with an advisory board of Wolf Peter Funk, Paul Hubert Poiret, and James M. Robinson, introduced by Elaine H. Hegels, with the Gospel of Thomas, I believe, translated and commented upon by Marvin Mayer himself. And what is it that you have?
I have Lost Scriptures, books that did not make it into the New Testament, from Bart Ehrman. This is to go along with his book, Lost Christianities, which is a fantastic book. That's, I think, initially where I actually learned more about Gnosticism and these texts.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
You know where I learned about Gnosticism?
The Corpus Hermetica. I don't know.
The paranormal board on 4chan.
That sounds about right. That sounds exactly like where you would get that information from.
Yeah, well, it's all there. They have, I think I posted in the Discord a link to that library.
You did, yeah.
And that is something that people on the paranormal board on 4chan have been putting together for like a decade now.
Yeah, they're very good bookkeepers, but then they seem to not be able to connect the dots properly.
Well, no, they're like not very smart.
Yeah. But they're very good at like knowing what to look at,
Yeah.
but then not looking at
It's
it
like
right.
you've memorized everything about these things, but do you know what you memorized really? 'Cause
Yeah.
it's meaningless if you just memorize it without knowing the
Yeah, they're
meaning.
like, oh my God, all of this is true. And we're like, no. This is interesting.
No, there is like, okay, so in the occult world, there is like a completely alternative scholarship.
Yeah.
Right. And like they have completely alternative histories.
Great.
Like stuff that is contrary to actual history.
Yeah.
That they take very seriously. They'll also like take forgeries extremely seriously.
So like, would you say like the Secret Gospel of Mark, for example? That is a book that we should read later on the show.
Yeah, that was a gospel that Mark specifically got in secret.
Fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like everyone is pretty certain that one's a forgery.
No. People usually take it on its face.
Yeah.
Right? They're like Enoch.
Right.
It's written by Enoch.
Oh, right. We also talked about Enoch
Shout out to Enoch.
in the I can't talk, in my religious studies course. We also started talking about Enoch, and I was like, it's awesome. And then I talked about the other literature and how angels are just giant balls of fire, essentially. And it was a good talk. It was a good talk. So yeah. Anyways, this section on, remember, we're reading. This is the Coptic Gospel of Thomas.
Yeah,
let's remember that.
I also have the Greek Gospel of Thomas in here. We'll go into that later.
Yeah. We should cover that afterwards.
It's very short.
Yeah.
It's like 2 pages.
Okay. Yeah. Not bad at all. So.
Right. G. Thomas, are you ready?
Yeah, after I say that this translation was done by Thomas Lambden in James Robinson's The Nag Hammadi Library in English, used with permission. So perfect. Yeah, let's hop into it. Some of the stuff that we talked about last time on the show, aside from it just being mostly just, I mean, it's all just sayings, right? And once in a while, the disciples will ask him questions. And he's mostly been talking about how to get into the kingdom of God, right?
Yeah. Where does yours start for this section?
His disciples said to him.
Okay, yes, I have that. It's the exact same, actually.
Good.
So I'll hop into it then. His disciples said to him, 24 prophets have spoken in Israel, and
no.
and they all spoke of you.
Hold on, a little bit beforehand. I have, his disciples said to him, when will the repose of the dead come about?
Oh, I see. I see. That's also in here.
Yeah.
His disciples said to him, when will the rest for the dead take place, and when will the new world come? He said to them, what you look for has come, but you do not know it.
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah.
They're just too blind to see, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Where?
Huh?
You're
What?
deaf?
Huh?
Great.
Yes, and the next line is, his disciples said to him, 24 prophets have spoken in Israel, and they all spoke of you. This is 2nd Esdras 1445, gives 24 as the number of books in the Jewish scriptures.
Right, I was going to say, because I don't remember there being 24 prophets, but number of books, yes.
Yes.
Which, by the way, there have been different citations for the amount of books in in Judaism. So, 24 is like the most common, right? That's kind of how it got handed down to us, essentially, in the most popular traditions. But there were 23 book canons, and there were 22 book canons as well.
Mm-hmm.
So those are also important. I forget which book, but it's called the Biblical Canon. I know that's not I know it's pretty vague, right? I forget the name of the author, but he goes into these different canons and all the citations too of who cites how many books in each canon. So it would make sense for people in the first or early second centuries to have in this case it would be the first century probably. In this case that they would have 24 books.
Yeah.
Keeping up with that popular tradition.
Right. He said to them, you have disregarded the living one who is in your presence and have spoken of the dead.
Or spoken only of the dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's right there. You should listen to him.
Right. Why linger on the old guys? Dude's right in front of you. His disciples said to him, is circumcision useful or not?
That's a
big issue for early Christianity. I'll tell you that.
What I really do like is how it jumps from.
That's a big jump.
Yeah.
That's why I laughed. It was abrupt.
But yes,
it jumps from eschatology for like one sentence suddenly to like circumcision. Okay.
But this is like the disciples. Wait, hold on. Before you go any further, do we gotta keep cutting our dicks?
Does it do anything?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yes, Tomer, it is interesting that you mentioned Sarah and Miriam there as prophets. That's very unfortunate because they were not prophets.
Well, so the matriarchs are sometimes included in prayers that include prophets, but most of them were not prophets. Now, Sarah,
no, they weren't. No,
Sarah spoke with messengers of God.
Oh, Abigail. Okay.
That.
But the thing is, when it comes to them being prophets, they're. I guess the role of a prophet is really weird, especially when you're talking about that period, right?
No one wants you as the face.
Good. I'm glad no one wants me as the face.
That percentage went.
Look
They're not even minor prophets, like in the sense of like the books of the minor prophets, right?
Look at it this way, Lawrence. Sarah speaks with a messenger of God, arguably God himself.
Yeah.
Is delivered information about future events, is delivered religious commands, and receives a miraculous birth as part of this process. She was super old. Yeah. And like, I'm not sure outside of those things, besides like the woe is this, right?
No, also with Esther there, that's a really funny one, right? Because what happens in Esther, God doesn't even show up.
She has no contact with God.
Absolutely none.
But I would say Sarah is arguably a prophet.
Yeah, I mean, I guess a very minor prophet in this case. Yeah, like you could have like because like Huldah, right? There's a prophet,
right?
So
even who's it? Sarah's handmaiden.
fuck, I forgot her name.
Yeah. Shit, we should know this.
We really should.
Yeah, we really, really should.
Yeah, because she also received like the same kind of
Right. She got the same. Well, it wasn't the same blessing, but it was like an alternative blessing. It was. She also communed with divine beings and stuff. So, that's arguably a prophet, but super minor prophet.
Yeah. They don't really do
super prophet.
do much. It's no Isaiah, no Ezekiel.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're not really receiving messages to deliver.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just personal stuff.
Yeah, Hagar. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, Hagar.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can't believe we forgot that.
Jeez, there's so many names in these books. Yaldabaoth, Hagar.
That's it.
Yep. That's all
Those are all the names.
Okay. So they're asking if circumcision's useful.
Uh-huh.
He said to them, if it were useful, children's fathers would produce them already circumcised from their mothers. Rather, the true circumcision in spirit has become valuable in every respect.
Okay, yeah. See, that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If the animals
Shame they
didn't
couldn't
want
figure
to
out
be
this one
eaten,
earlier.
they shouldn't have been born so tasty, right?
Yeah, one of those.
If it were useful, it would have been born that way. If man was meant to fly, he would have been born with wings.
True.
Right.
Yeah,
This
one of
is
those.
the message that's being communicated.
Those wheels are too advanced. No more wheels.
Jesus said, blessed are the poor, for yours is heaven's kingdom. Jesus said, whoever does not hate father and mother cannot be a disciple of me, and whoever does not hate brother and sisters and bear the cross as I do will not be worthy of me. See
So this
Matthew 10, 37 through 38.
Yeah, I was going to point out this is from Matthew.
Yes. Jesus said, whoever has come to know the world has discovered a carcass, and whoever has discovered a carcass of that person, the world is not worthy. Okay.
Oh, right, because it's there's the superior world, right? And we talked about this before in other episodes about like these two stages of reality. This is just the husk.
Yeah.
But if you want to get to that deeper reality, that's what he's talking about.
Right. Jesus said the Father's kingdom is like a person who had good seed. His enemy came at night and sowed weeds among the good seed. Okay. The person.
What a dick.
Have you ever heard of this happening to anyone?
Yeah, this was a Smurf plot.
Was
in
his
season
where his
2 of the
enemy-
Smurfs.
Was this a common issue back then?
So yeah, we got all these horrible people, and you know what they're doing, Ruben? You know what they're doing?
I'm just throwing weeds into your
They're
garden.
throwing weeds into my garden.
Yep.
That's right.
Oh my God.
Brought all the milkweed and
But-
dandelions, and I'm blowing them in your yard.
Oh my God. But here's the thing. For them, though, like if their garden gets contaminated,
Right.
that is their livelihood.
Right.
Yeah,
And
so it's way bigger.
And figuratively, right? The garden is many things.
Yeah.
Right. So, okay. So they're throwing weeds among the seeds. The person did not let them pull up the weeds, but said to them, no, or you might go pull up the weeds and pull up the wheat along with them. For on the day of the harvest, the weeds will be conspicuous and will be pulled up and burned. Okay, so that's more eschatology. Yep. Jesus said, blessed is the person who has labored and found life. Jesus said, look to the living one as long as you live, or you might die and then try to see the living one, and you will be unable to see. See Luke 17:22 and John 7:33 through 36. He saw a Samaritan carrying a lamb as he was going to Judea. He said to his disciples, that person is carrying the lamb around.
Wow.
They said to him, then he may kill it and eat it. And he said to them, He will not eat it while it is alive, but only after he has killed it and it has become a carcass. They said, otherwise he cannot do it. He said to them, so also with you. Seek for yourselves a place for rest, or you might become a carcass and be eaten.
That's the worst metaphor I've ever heard.
You know,
This is.
I didn't learn anything other than
It's a simile.
Oh, sorry.
oh,
Go fuck yourself.
It's not a simile.
Does
I mean,
like?
it's kind of a simile. It says, so it is with you, right?
Yeah.
Functionally.
like or
Functionally a
as.
simile.
I guess
Functionally a
so,
simile.
Yeah, sure.
It fills the same grammatic role.
Yeah. So I would. Yeah. This is a horrible simile.
Yeah, this is dumb. It's very clear what he's saying.
Yeah.
So we don't have to get into it. Jesus said, 2 will rest on a couch. 1 will die. 1 will live. Salome said, who are you, mister? You have climbed onto my couch and eaten from my table as if you are from someone.
So Salome.
From someone as from one. Bentley Layton in Nag Hammadi Codex 2 through 7, 174. Notes 2 other possibilities. The Greek for as a stranger, hos xenos, may have been mistranslated as from one, hos ex henos, or the Greek for as from whom, hos ektinos, may have been mistranslated as from someone, hos ektinos, with a different accent.
Sure. Yeah.
The editors of the Gospel.
Well, because one of
Thomas-
them, if depending on the accent, it could be construed as it could be a question as well. So because that's honestly, this is how many, not all, but this is how many questions are determined in Greek, depending on the accent of that specific word.
Yeah, it's like in English where if I ask you a question, I want to end the sentence like this.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, you could do
Exactly
Batgirl
the
style
same
like
function.
that?
It is, yeah, except it's at the beginning of the sentence.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's like in Spanish when they throw the
Spanish?
question mark upside down at
Right.
the beginning.
yeah.
Ah,
Except they didn't have question marks.
Right.
Yeah. So the translation used here is, "Who are you, man, that you," textual break, "have come up on my couch and eaten from my table?" So yeah, I guess like a stranger would make sense there.
Yes.
So yeah. Also, Salome, the introduction here, because Salome wasn't in here before, and this seems to be not a part of his speech.
No, Salome's just introduced here.
Yeah.
Um,
Where do we see Salome before?
she has been mentioned in some books.
Yeah. I can't remember where though.
Not
In like one
often.
one other text, I think, right?
Very rarely.
I don't recall.
I could swear it's been in here.
It's somewhere.
But yeah, there's this just an inclusion here that I guess they're not going to bother explaining.
Like, oh, and Salome was there too.
Right? Yeah, they didn't say that.
Right. No. But I guess that's the implication. Jesus said to her, I am the one who comes from what is whole. I was given from the things of my Father. So he comes from the pleroma.
Of course.
I am your disciple. For this reason I say, if one is whole, one will be filled with light. But if one is divided, one will be filled with darkness.
Yeah, exactly. You need to be absolutely certain. You know, it's really funny. This is like that like that Rick and Morty
They had to
episode.
amend it. They had to amend it.
Did they?
Where it says where it says if one is whole, one will be filled with light. The Coptic actually reads, if one is desolate, one will be filled with light. But they just changed it to translate it
Oh.
this way because they thought it made more
I
sense.
see that. Yeah. Therefore, I say, if he is destroyed, he will be filled with light. Interesting. But yeah, this kind of reminds me of that Rick and Morty episode where remember where Rick was like, you have to be absolutely certain, otherwise things start splitting off into parallel dimensions. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like that. You got to be certain. Can't be divided.
Which is not possible empirically.
Nope.
Sucks.
You don't know.
Sucks to suck.
Nobody knows. Let's all just
I do. I'm very certain about it.
Let's just break reality real quick.
Hold on, we're getting important information here. All right. Jesus said, I disclose my mysteries to those who are worthy of my mysteries.
Okay.
Right.
Do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing.
Whoa.
You know,
so you got to keep
in
it
order
even
to
closer
trick your
that.
enemies, you have to be able to trick your friends.
Damn straight. Good moral philosophy there.
Yep. So great.
You're so brave.
Laughing. Tell me if that was laughing or...
That was both. That was like the crowd cheering.
Now, don't let your left hand know what your right hand's doing, right? What is the purpose of this saying?
I mean, probably to be like, look how close you can be to someone, but still not trust them.
Maybe. But it says that there's a reference to Matthew. Pull out a Bible.
I don't know if we have any Bibles around here.
Pull out Matthew 6:3.
Okay, Matthew 6:3.
Yeah.
All right. That's Matthew 5. Matthew 6:3. But when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing.
Weird.
Yeah, but before that, just for context. Thus, when you give to the needy, sound no trumpet before you, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may be praised by others. Truly, I say to you, they have received their reward. But when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. So that your giving may be in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. So you're not looking for clout.
Mm-hmm.
But this is just a way of keeping things secret. Another way of saying don't tell anyone.
Yes, Maimonides advocated secret almsgiving as the second highest of his 8 levels of tzedakah, or charity. The highest is supporting a fellow Jew through financial means or other forms of assistance.
Wow.
So
if you like
also,
what you're watching, don't forget.
In the Sukkot 49b, rabbis discuss gemilut chasadim, the idea that deeds of loving kindness can supersede charity. So there's that in the rabbinical tradition.
Yeah, so if you want to stay in line with the rabbinical tradition,
give your money.
Yeah, your tithes.
Oh, you know what? Actually, we're all Jewish ancestry here. The highest form of charity would be giving us money.
True.
According to Maimonides.
In secret. And you know what? We have a Patreon. And your name won't be
secret PayPal.
Yeah, it's not publicly open.
Yep.
So, consider the Patreon.
Yep. Maimonides said it. Okay, let's continue on here. Jesus said, there was a rich person who had a great deal of money. He said, I shall invest my money so that I may sow, reap, plant, and fill my storehouses with produce, that I may lack nothing. These were the things he was thinking in his heart, but that very night he died. Whoever has ears should hear.
Yeah, don't be greedy. It's going to go to waste.
Okay.
You're going to get none of that when you die.
Don't count your chickens before they hatch.
Yeah,
Yep.
one of those.
Jesus said, a person was receiving guests. When he had prepared the dinner, he sent his servant to invite the guests. This would be a slave, right? The servant went to the first and said to that one, my master invites you. That person said, some merchants owe me money. They are coming to me tonight. I must go and give them instructions. Please excuse me from dinner. The servant went to another and said to that one, my master has invited you. That person said to the servant, I bought a house and I've been called away for a day. I shall have no time. The servant went to another and said to that one, my master invites you. That person said to the servant, my friend is to be married and I am to arrange the banquet. I shall not be able to come. Please excuse me from dinner. The servant went to another and said, I'm differentiating all these.
This is good. This is good.
The servant went to another and said to that one, my master invites you. That person said to the servant, I have bought an estate and I am going to collect the rent. I shall not be able to come. Please excuse me. The servant returned and said to his master, the people whom you invited to dinner have asked to be excused. The master said to his servant, go out on the street and bring back whomever you find to have dinner. Buyers and merchants will not enter the places of my father.
So you can ask everyone except for the businessmen and the merchants.
No, this is a separate line.
Essentially, yeah.
No, it is. It's denoted. It's
Oh,
a
is it?
separate line.
Okay.
That idea just like ends
Just in
there.
Yeah. That's interesting. So the basic idea here is if you let money get in the way and your other responsibilities get in the way, you're going to miss out. You're going to miss out on the great beyond.
Right. That's part of it. Another thing is that we've literally run into this exact parable before in the New Testament.
I remember it.
It's, I think it's noted here as Matthew 22, 1 through 10.
It is slightly different. There's more dialogue between the servant and other people, but other than that, he did go out to the streets and say, don't get these kind of people.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that part, yeah.
But while you're looking at that, he said, a usurer owned a vineyard and rented it to some farmers so that they might work it and he might collect its produce from them. He sent his servant so that the farmers.
That's when Jesus, he did make it. Yeah, he didn't make that one explicitly. Like, here's a parable, and then you're inviting everyone to a wedding.
Yeah. He sent his servant so that the farmers might give the servant the produce of the vineyard. They seized, beat, and almost killed the servant, and the servant returned and told his master. His master said, perhaps you did not know them. He sent another servant. The farmers beat that one as well. Master sent his son and said, perhaps they will show my son some respect. The farmers knew that he was the heir, so they seized and killed him.
Wow.
Whoever has ears should hear. Yeah, we've run into this one a number of times. Jesus said, show me the stone that the builders rejected. That is the cornerstone. Of course, the cornerstone pops up a lot.
Yep.
Many things.
I think it initially made a big appearance in Zechariah, I want to say.
I think so. It's in Psalms, definitely.
It was in Psalms? Okay.
And it's in, it takes a huge mention in the Testament of Solomon.
Yeah,
Sure, yeah, that's true.
I was going to bring up Song of Solomon, but yeah.
Not Song of Solomon. Testament of Solomon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different books.
You're right.
One of them is horny posting. The other one is Demon Slayer.
Yeah. Which it'd be kind of surprising which one they kind of ended up going with, huh?
Yeah, you know what? Canon would be a lot better if they use the Testament of Solomon.
Yeah, like listen, I'm all down for kind of some bad bedroom talk, but a Demon Slayer Solomon is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He binds a bunch of demons and they make a building for him.
Yeah, they make a building for him, and they
That cornerstone.
the thing is, because he was kind of moving up the ranks, right? So he'd tell them all to bring their boss or something.
Right.
And then he would just bind that one too.
I am error.
It is weird. It's great.
Yeah.
I am error was from something else.
Are you sure?
I think
wasn't
so.
there? Yeah, it was from something else. I think.
Which weird demon?
I think it was
there
from.
was a demon in this one.
Oh, yeah, there was a demon that was error.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think
Was
it
it-
was in Testament of Solomon. I think
wasn't.
that was in...
Yeah, I've forgotten.
whatever,
Maybe I wrote it down somewhere.
I don't know, but the thing is that in Christianity, modern Christianity at least, we can talk a little bit about it because we're great religious scholars who are referenced in college courses, right?
True. Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is that with Christianity, they have this spurious notion of demons, right? There is not an organized demonology in the Bible. It doesn't exist.
Because the stuff we get about demons is so little, honestly.
Yeah. Whereas people take it seriously. Like the Catholic Church literally still trains exorcists.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it is like getting a lot rarer because they are in some ways becoming
less dumb.
Yeah, less dumb, but in other ways it's just remained the same. But
yeah. Well, Catholicism too, like this Pope that they have
Catholicism
now.
too.
That's
what we need to make.
Yeah. No, a lot of like super traditional Catholics are not big fans of Francis. And like he makes statements about things, but it isn't like official church policy either.
Sure, yeah.
So it's kind of spurious. Anyways, I'm going to hand it off to you shortly.
Okay.
Let me just continue on here. Jesus said, one who knows everything but lacks in oneself lacks everything. Legit. Jesus said, blessed are you when you are hated and persecuted, and no place will be found wherever you have been persecuted. This is from Matthew 2.
Okay.
Jesus said, blessed are they who have been persecuted in their hearts. They are the ones who have truly come to know the Father. Blessed are those who are hungry, that the stomach of the person in want may be filled. Jesus said, if you bring forth what is within you, what you have will save you. If you do not have that within you, what you do not have within you will kill you. I'm going to hand it off to you at 71.
Sounds good. And hey, if you guys are enjoying the stream so far, make sure you drop a like, subscribe if you haven't, because any viewer engagement is good viewer engagement.
Yeah, and if you haven't voted in the poll yet, vote in the poll. I'm going to grab some more coffee.
Good idea. Voting in the poll is a good idea. I don't know about the coffee thing. I wish I could have coffee. It's been a while, but had those heart issues last year. Can't really risk caffeine. Anyways, on to 71. Jesus said, I shall destroy this house, and no one will be able to build it. Textual break.
Hooray!
Yeah. So we don't know exactly what he's trying to keep it away from, but some sort of rebuilding. A man said to him, tell my brothers to divide my father's possessions with me. He said to him, oh, man, who has made me a divider? He turned to his disciples and said to them, I am not a divider, am I?
I'm not a binder, am I? I'm not a 3-ring binder.
No, I don't think you are.
I'm not.
You're not a college-ruled notebook.
You guys are pretty sophisticated for an Hammadi.
I'm not a slide rule.
I'm not an abacus.
I might be.
I'm not a Moncala set.
Wow.
Dreidel.
Yeah, dreidel. Yeah. Okay.
I've been a dreidel for years and you have no idea.
I knew it. Jesus said, the harvest is great, but the laborers are few. Beseech the Lord, therefore, to send out laborers to the harvest. So this is the mission, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said, oh, Lord, there are many.
Apparently, where he says that, where we're making fun of it, there is some reference to this in Abd al-Jabbar book on the signs of Muhammad's prophecy.
Interesting. Very interesting. This also reminds me of, what's his name? And it was in the Old Testament. I think it was in Numbers. Mm-hmm. The daughters of
Lot.
What? No. The ones where like, I think the dad's name starts with a Z or something, and he doesn't want to pass down his possessions to his daughters because they're his daughters. Mm-hmm. That's how the story starts, at least. I forget the dude's name though. There were like a few daughters, I think. Yeah, I think it was in Numbers.
Okay. Someone can figure it out for us.
Yeah.
Oh, where's Jason when you need him?
Yeah, right. Oh, Lord.
Oh, Lord.
There are many around the drinking trough, but there is nothing in the cistern. Jesus said, "Many are standing at the door, but it is the solitary who will enter the bridal chamber." So this is kind of... Wait, hold on. So...
Sayings 73 through 75 most likely constitute a small dialogue.
Yeah,
See for
'cause-
reference the heavenly dialogue in Origin against Celsus 8:15. For saying 75, see Matthew 25, 1 through 13.
You know, I was kind of getting that. This seems like its own standalone thing because he's saying the same thing multiple ways.
Mm-hmm.
And he's done that before, but he's added a little more context to these. So this is kind of in the same tradition as apocalyptic, because in apocalyptic traditions, you often find the restatement of the exact same thing in different ways. We're going to get that once we get to Revelation. It's like the very beginning, before we get into like the really good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, continuing on here. Jesus said, "The kingdom of the Father is like a merchant who had a consignment of merchandise and who discovered a pearl. That merchant was shrewd. He sold the merchandise and bought the pearl alone for himself."
Matthew 13, 45 through 46.
You too seek his unfailing and enduring treasure when no moth comes near to devour and no worm destroys.
Matthew 6, 19 through 20.
We can obviously see their influence.
There are a lot of points in here where it's speculated that, like, they have parentheses Q in a lot of these. So it's speculated that a lot of these sayings are in Q.
Okay.
And where they reference, like, Matthew, in a good portion of them, they're segments which are also labeled as likely being in Q, being also in Luke.
Yeah, and please remember, everyone, Q is a theoretical source.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But most scholars do accept that there was a Q.
Yeah, they were anonymous.
The scholars?
No, Q.
Well, yeah, we don't even know if it actually existed.
Yeah.
Of
It's a
course.
joke.
Okay,
Yes.
whatever.
Anonymous.
Q.
The
This
group.
anonymous.
Oh, okay.
Ha, ha, ha.
See, in this context,
Yeah, yeah.
Ha,
in this
Very
context,
funny.
it could be.
I got
Whatever,
You. I got
whatever.
You. I got you.
Oh my God, went right over my head.
It's fine, man.
Right over my head.
I'm just trying to be funny.
Yeah, it's the same Q.
Yeah, right. Let's not make a new conspiracy theory here.
I love it.
And all those historians are going to be like, I wonder where this shit started.
That's where Q
Okay,
came
so
from,
future religious historians out there.
Yes.
Q Anon was like some rando dude on a spinoff of 4chan called 8chan who started posting cryptic messages that people interpreted
Yep.
as like all sorts of stuff. Is
Fits the
truly a spectacle.
Turns out he was the guy that compiled the first sayings of Jesus all the way back in the first century.
That is definitely not misinformation.
No.
No, that's misinformation. YouTube's probably gonna give us like a little thing at the bottom.
True.
Just like
Right,
this
yeah,
is
fact check.
misinformation.
Well,
Fact
you guys
check.
are telling them that it's a joke.
Yeah.
I hope.
I
they
don't
get
think that
context,
matters
my
to
God.
No,
Google.
I think it does. I'm going to be optimistic
Yeah.
and say people can recognize when you are joking most of the time. And then if they can't recognize it, if you explain it, at least they'll get it.
Unless you're Kanye West.
Okay, well, Kanye
I don't think
West,
Kanye was joking.
No, he's
No, but do you get him? Do you understand?
I
Understand.
Oh, you do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, I still can't believe he said that shit. That's so fucking wild. I'm
yeah. All right.
gonna continue on here.
G. Thomas.
Yes.
Let's go.
So, anyways, Jesus said, "It is I who am the light, which is above them all. It is I who am the all. From me did the all come forth, and unto me did the all extend."
Yeah, That's 3 ways of saying the same
Split a
thing.
piece of wood, and I am there. Lift up the stone, and you will find me there. Jesus said, I see. No, we've done those things.
I did just lift up a
See,
stone.
for
There was
reference,
nothing.
Ecclesiastes 10:9, Habakkuk 2:18 through 20, Lucian of Samoa's
Samosata.
Hermotimus 81. Also, see Gospel of Thomas 30.
Oh, all right. Jesus said, why have you come out into the desert? To see a reed shaken by the wind? And to see a man clothed in fine garments like your kings and your great men? Upon them are the fine garments, and they are unable to discern the truth. Doesn't matter how rich you are. A woman from the crowd said to him, blessed are the womb which bore you, and the breasts which nurtured you. Yes, this is going directly in Men Writing Women, the subreddit.
Oh, but there's a comeback.
Oh, is there? He said to her, blessed are those who have heard the word of the Father and have truly kept it. For there will be days when you, plural you, will say, blessed are the womb which has not conceived and the breasts which have not given milk. Yeah, you're right, actually. True.
Wow. Antinatalism.
Jesus is onto something here.
Is it self-defense to fight antinatalists inherently?
No,
Like, they support human extinction.
I don't think they support it like over time,
Well, yeah.
not like genocide.
Well, that's true. But, like, the implication of what they support would be, like,
Yeah.
disastrous for your future progeny.
Yeah,
if you have
because you
any.
wouldn't have them.
Right. But if you didn't, like, everyone else was antinatalist,
Right.
they would just be, like, dooming your kids to suffer, right? Because they would never interact with anyone.
True. So
Right.
we should all agree then not to have children. It's just the safest bet.
Wow.
Anyways, so what's Jesus saying now? Jesus said, he who has recognized the world has found the body, but he who has found the body is superior to the world. All right, then. Fair enough. You're one step ahead. Jesus said, let him who has grown rich be king, and let him who possesses power renounce it. Jesus said, he who is near me is near the fire, and he who is far from me is far from the kingdom. Jesus said, the images are manifest to man, but the light in them remains concealed in the images of the light of the Father. He will become manifest, but his image will remain concealed by his light. Yeah, I guess hiding the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Or like the truest truth, I guess. Jesus said, when you see your likeness, you rejoice. But when you see your images, which came into being before you, and which neither die nor become manifest, how much will you have to bear? So, yeah, this is the whole, you existed beforehand in some form before, God made you kind of thing. He knew you beforehand. So you have your corrupted bodily form and then your true form.
Right.
And I think this is actually kind of close to Islam, actually.
Oh.
Because in Islam, they, at least, some of them believe that but when you came into existence, when your soul came into existence, God asked you if you wanted to take the test for life or if you wanted to just remain an angel. Right? Because he made you as an angel. That's something.
Welcome to the world of Pokemon. Are you a boy or a girl?
Or something like that, yeah. So the thing is, their idea is that every human is an angel who chose life over staying an angel, because there is a high risk, but there's also a high reward.
Is this how you get a promotion?
That's what they're going for, right? That's the copium that they're on. Because I tried so hard to explain to this guy, okay, I understand that you think of it as like a test, right? But if God knows the result of the test, what is the point in any of it?
No, he knows all the possible results. You still have to go through the test.
Right, but he knows exactly which one you're going to get.
He does?
Yeah, if he's all-knowing, yeah. He knows exactly which option you're going to choose and exactly where you're going to go. So it's not really a choice.
Well, I've argued that for a long time, that the ability of an all-knowing being to know the future precludes free will.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's not like the same kind of...
Unless all the futures happen. And you are only limited to a subset.
Okay, well, I don't really think from the most
remember
part they believe
because
him.
he had different spheres, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's all those different spheres. Maybe like there's a bunch of different spheres that are like the same universe, but like little alternate realities.
He tried it again and again and again. How many times? 18,000 times?
So is he just trying for like reality where everyone is saved or something?
Yeah.
And we're just in one of those that...
Oh, dude.
This is just the reality where it
watching.
became possible for people to be saved, right?
Oh, sure.
Right? He couldn't figure it out before this one. But
Gotcha.
Right, because
like that.
you get into a lot of moral issues when that stuff comes up. And I had to try to explain it, but I don't think he got it.
No.
Like I was asking him to agree, but like just to like have an understanding of where I'm coming from.
Like,
If
you believe
I understand
in
where you're coming from,
like the
but you
Christian
couldn't
God,
convey it.
right? If you believe in the Christian God, then that necessarily means that the only moral actor is the Christian God, right?
Because he's the one that's making choices.
Yeah, he's the only one that can make choices. So your Hitlers, your Stalins, your Mussolinis, right? They are all like completely washed of any responsibility because they have no personal free will. They couldn't have done anything differently than God's plan, right?
The way that I view it is, so you have some videotapes, right? And remember those. So you have an infinite amount of videotapes, and you choose to play one. You know the results of each, like it's like, let's say it's
Choose your own adventure game, Lawrence.
let's say it's a football game or something. Okay, so you have this infinite amount of football games. Every way that they could possibly play out. They haven't really been played exactly, but they're all the blueprints. So you get to determine exactly how it all plays out.
Right. You would know that if some guy had this play and the other coach knew what he was doing, he'd do this counter play.
Yeah,
or if
yeah.
he didn't, he'd do the other play.
Yeah, you have every possible version of that game.
Yeah, so like versionation at a quantum level, wherein every possible event that is macroscopic of relevance is determined.
Yeah, but then only one of them is the real one. So in the case of this, God would have chosen this specific game where some people are, or I guess not the right mentality, but he would have chosen, who wins, how many points they have, or how many points they got. He would have chosen every single thing about that. And he chose to play that one game.
Yeah, but that's where the apologist says, well, this is because it was the best option.
Right, yeah. Like, I think God could probably figure one out better.
Yeah, if I can conceive of a better world, then surely an all-knowing being could conceive of a better world.
Yeah, like if you're talking...
Or we could have this idea that they have a completely alien perspective to us. Like, there's the blind idiot God as a thought that nobody knows what it's thinking or what it's doing. It's just there, but it created everything. And you could interact with it, but you go nuts, basically, because it's completely different than your mindset.
Oh, sure, yeah, I've seen stuff like that. Yeah,
that's
Cthulhian
Lovecraft.
So, your Lovecraftian horror elder god thing.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I was thinking of that because of this.
How many mythologies worldwide have been based around that kind of thing?
Not much.
What do you think?
It's kind of unique.
As a probably not that many.
That one spider god from one of the African mythos.
You're talking about Anansi?
Anastasi or
Anansi?
Yeah.
Anansi the spider?
Yeah.
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 I don't think that, was that a god or was that just a fable?
I think
I think that's a
god.
fable.
Yeah.
I still think that was a god according to most people, or at least
Because I don't remember.
a
It's been,
spirit that was powerful enough to rival gods according to their lore or something.
so is it kind of like
Maybe
a
primordial being of trickster chaos.
or like something like a demigod? Like you think of well, yeah, they're all fables, April. but I mean, like more properly, right? Like, is this like one of those?
Is it a myth, a fable, a proverb?
Yeah, or is it supposed to be like a god thing? I don't remember Anansi being a god.
No, I don't think so. But hey, Lawrence, guess what? You got more to read.
I do have more to read. You're right. So we went off on quite a tangent there.
It was a good one, but yeah.
I also thought it was good. So Jesus said, Adam came into being from a great power and a great wealth, but he did not become worthy of you. For had he been worthy, he would not have experienced death. I mean, the people he's talking to are going to experience it.
Right.
But anyways, oh, was it trickster god? Okay, fair enough. I mean, I knew that he was, trickster-like, that he was like one of those clever beings, but okay. Jesus said, the foxes have their holes, and the birds have their nests, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head and rest. Jesus said, wretched is the body that is dependent upon a body, and wretched is the soul that is dependent on these two.
By these two, there's references.
Body and soul, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Jesus said, the angels and the prophets will come to you and give to you those things you already have. And you too, give them those things which you have, and say to yourselves, when will they come and take what is theirs? Jesus said, why?
Secret Book
go
of
ahead.
John 2:25. Authoritative Discourse 32.
Yeah, we read the secret book of John. Yeah. Jesus said, why do you wash the outside of the cup? Do you not realize that he who made the inside is the same one who made the outside?
Matthew 23:25-26. Q.
Because it's gross. Just keep your cup.
Just keep it clean.
Babylonian Talmud.
Oh, okay, great. What did they have to say?
Barakoth 51a and Kalim 25 1-9. Apparently have the same idea.
All right, then. I guess why are you neglecting one and not the other?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Jesus said, come unto me, for my yoke is easy and my lordship is mild, and you will find repose for yourselves. I don't know. I remember those angels that have to continuously bless you.
Holy, holy, holy.
Yeah, exactly.
Holy.
Holy.
Now, maybe that's just those angels, right? Maybe you won't have to do that part in heaven, but even the possibility of that is scary.
But then you have to bow to the one who stands before you, and they have to bow to the one who stands before
The one
in
with the
a
10th
daisy
crown,
chain.
and he has
That
to-
was such an
Yes,
annoying
the
part.
Lord of the 19th crown bows to the Lord of the 18th crown
Something like that.
and pays homage, right?
It was really bad. Let's continue on.
It's in one of the books of Enoch. I think 3rd Enoch.
I think 30 knock, yeah. They said to him, tell us who you are so that we may believe in you. He said to them, you read the face of the sky and of the earth, but you have not recognized the one who is before you, and you do not know how to read this moment. That's why they're asking.
Oh, you know what that reminds me of is that mentality that's like, oh, who cares if the earth is flat? Or if the sun revolves around the earth, or if the earth revolves around the sun. All of that is irrelevant to me. I'm concerned with things that are actually in front of me, right?
I don't think this is...
where it's similar, right? He's talking about reading the sky. So, like, you're talking about, like, meteorology. You're talking about astrology.
What he's doing here is, like, you have seen all of creation, but yet you can't recognize the creator.
Right.
And now,
But-
this is, of course, not an argument that would work ever.
Right.
It doesn't work for us now, and I'm sure it didn't work back then. Well, actually, I'm sure then it probably would have worked, at least a little bit. But, yeah, no, like, we're not going to buy that. No,
Right.
I doubt like anyone back then would buy it at least right away. Where someone would be like, "Can you prove you're really important?" And then he's like, "I created the universe," and they're like, "Wow, I've never heard anyone or anything make that claim.
Must be true.
You got dibs."
Mm-hmm.
The ultimate dibs.
All right.
That's what I'm getting from that.
All right, you keep going.
All right. Jesus said, "Seek and you will find, yet what you asked me about in the former times, and which I did not tell you then, now I desire to tell you, but you do not inquire after it." Maybe because you didn't answer it before, Jesus.
Jesus.
Jesus said, "Do not give what is holy to dogs, lest they throw them on the dung heap. Do not throw the pearls to swine, lest they textual break."
Make mud of
Okay.
it.
Okay, that would make sense.
The
so
restoration
give
at
good-
the end of the saying is tentative. Sina je nuaf nila
Cena?
te.
As in the champ,
Yeah,
John Cena.
sure.
You can't see me.
Yeah. But it fits the context. Bentley Layton in Nag Hammadi Codex 2, 2-7, 186-87 notes the following additional suggestions for restoration. Or they might bring it to naught, or they might grind it to bits. Those are alternatives there. But it had to be restored. So
As is tradition. Jesus said, "He who seeks will find, and he who knocks will be let in." Do you think?
oh, hello. Come on in.
Do you think he's gonna let in Walter White,
He is the one who knocks.
and he's gonna let him in? Jesus said, "If
He's
you,"
going to open the door
he should.
and get on the floor.
Yeah, real quick.
Everybody walk the dinosaur.
Wow. Jesus said, "If you have money, do not lend it at interest, but give it to one from whom you will not get it back." Jesus said, "The kingdom of the Father is like a certain woman." I bet you Tina is used here, which I've pointed this out before.
It's not Zoe.
No.
That's life.
So it's usually translated as a certain one, but in Greek, Tina or tis or whatever any form of it you take, it could mean anyone, somebody, anybody, someone, like that kind of idea. But
the
the whole
message
thing
to
is,
get from this is that
it's not certain.
the name Tina is literally the most generic name that you could give to someone.
Yeah, that is
That
sure.
could be
That's true.
anyone.
Exactly, it could be anyone. So
Oh my gosh.
the-
You're the perfect spy.
this has always annoyed me personally.
Anyone meet a Tina before?
Yeah,
I haven't met a Tina, I don't think.
I don't
you
think
don't
so.
meet people.
Well, I had a long life before I started being a hermit. I was very social.
Well, like
for a
20
while.
years.
25,
Two.
26 years is how long I wasn't a hermit. Maybe a little longer. I think I went to school for a while after.
Yeah, it's not really. Yeah,
Only
no,
been 4 years
I know
I've been
I
a
know
hermit.
a few people named Tina. Yeah. So but the whole thing is that the word
So you know everybody?
shut up. That would be Pontes. So the word
Anybody.
That-
Oh, anybody.
that would be everybody. So the word that is often translated, as a certain man or a certain woman, depending on what you're talking about. But it literally is uncertainty.
Mhm.
So I hate the fact that they translate it that way.
Mine doesn't translate it that way.
Wow. Well,
Mine
I hate
just
this.
says like a woman.
Ooh.
Wow. Anyways, so the kingdom of the Father is like a certain woman. She took a little leaven, concealed it in some dough, and made it into large loaves. Let him who has ears hear. Jesus said, "The kingdom of the Father is like a certain woman who was carrying a jug full of meat. While she was walking on the road, still some distance from her home, the handle of the jar broke and the meal emptied out behind her on the road. She did not realize it. She had noticed no accident. When she reached her house, she set the jar down and found it empty.
So the editors of the Gospel of Thomas in Synopsis Quatuor Evangeliorium, edition edited by Aland, 542. That's 542.
Okay, so probably Alland, like Curtin Barber Alland.
Yes.
Yeah.
Prefer to amend with Peter Nagel to read, she had not noticed anything while she toiled. So that is a common
Okay. I mean, same thing, I guess.
Same thing, yeah.
Jesus said, the kingdom of the Father is like a certain man who wanted to kill a powerful man. So this is why I think, like, even though it sounds unprofessional, like, you could say some guy or some woman, and
Mine
that
just says like a person.
yeah, see, fucking, oh my God. Okay.
Wow, that's the best one.
Anyways, it's like a certain man who wanted to kill a powerful man. In his own house, he drew his sword and stuck it into the wall in order to find out whether his hand could carry through. Then he slew the powerful man.
This parable is known only here in early Christian literature.
Is that how you test if you can kill a person?
You
stab a wall first?
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe physically.
so
Test his strength.
Yeah, that would be it.
I mean, it's more about his technique, right? Because in order to make the sword go, you don't actually have to be strong to make a piercing weapon go into something, right? You just have
it
to make
depends
sure
how deep you want it, right?
Well, yeah, but you have to make sure that the angle is right. So when you have a sword, people usually think
Oh, that's dangerous.
you hold it like this, right?
Sure.
But if you want to stab into someone, if you hold it like that, it's just awkward. So you actually have to curve your hand down and like go straight in.
Sure.
Practice
So-
thrusting.
Yeah, practice thrusting. One of the things that you might do if you're in a society where the walls are made of clay and easily repaired and
Sure.
Society.
like it might even approximate like human flesh, right?
I guess, yeah.
Vaguely,
I
in
see
terms of hardness or something.
Sure, it's totally possible.
Then you might practice getting it right at home and then just patch up your wall and go do the deed, right?
Sure. Okay. Still leaves a whole dimension unaccounted for, but okay. So he went
He
went off and killed the guy.
Stupid.
The disciples said to him, your brothers and your mother are standing outside. He said to them, those here who do the will of my Father are my brothers and my mother. It is they who will enter the kingdom of my Father. So where do we see this before?
Matthew 12:46 through 50, Mark 3:31 through 35, Luke 8:19 through 21, and Gospel of the Ebionites 5.
Oh, okay. So we've seen that everywhere. Okay. Yeah.
All of the synoptic Gospels.
Sounded familiar. All right.
Yes. Maybe it's from Q.
They showed Jesus a gold coin and said to him, Caesar's men demand taxes from us. He said to them, give Caesar what belongs to Caesar, give God what belongs to God, and give me what is mine. So yeah, same thing we've seen before.
As long as I got mine, it don't matter.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to have you finish through the end of the Gospel of Thomas, and then I'll cover the Greek Gospel of Thomas.
Oh, okay. Are we doing that one today too?
Yeah, it's short.
Oh, okay.
How short is it?
2 pages. It's short.
Because I don't have the Gospel of Thomas. The
It's
Greek
literally
Gospel.
this. It's not long, and a lot of it is fragmented.
All right. Continuing on here. Jesus said, whoever does not hate his father and his mother as I do cannot become a disciple to me. And whoever does not love his father and his mother as I do cannot become a disciple to me. For my mother, textual break, but my true mother gave me life.
For my mother gave me falsehood, but my true mother gave me life. The restoration is tentative. Another possibility, for my mother who has given birth to me has destroyed me. See Synopsis Quatuor Evangeliorum 543. It may even be possible, though more difficult, to restore it to read as follows. For my mother gave birth to me, but my true mother gave life to me.
That would also make sense, actually.
Yeah.
So I would think, because this is similar to stuff we've seen before, but the one difference is that instead of just hatred, it also mentions love.
Mm-hmm. And perhaps the true mother could be the Holy Spirit. See for reference the Gospel of the Hebrews 3, Secret Book of James
Sophia,
6,
maybe.
Gospel of Philip 55.
Maybe Sophia.
Maybe Sophia.
Continuing on.
Though, to be honest, in the Gnostic canon, the Holy Spirit is basically replaced with Sophia. Right?
Essentially,
There's
yeah.
the Father, the Mother, and the Child.
Yeah, that is true.
Which is a better Trinity, by the way.
Jesus said, "Woe to the Pharisees, for they are like a dog sleeping in the manger of oxen, for neither does he eat, nor does he let the oxen eat." Is that how dogs are? Okay.
Yep, dogs suck, I guess.
Wait, what?
That's what it says. If there's a dog sleeping in the manger of an oxen, or of oxen.
There's a footnote. There's a reference in Matthew.
Dogs were notoriously shitty. I feel like this might be also a callback to the section before where it said not to give dogs as a derogatory term basically the secret.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
All right.
Jesus said, "Fortunate is the man who knows where the brigands will enter, so that he may get up, muster his domain, and arm himself before they invade." They said to Jesus, "Come, let us pray today, and let us fast." Jesus said, "What is the sin that I have committed, or wherein have I been defeated? But when the bridegroom leaves the bridal chamber, then let them fast and pray."
Yeah, so this is in a bunch of... Yeah, it's in the Synoptic Gospels, too.
Okay. Jesus said, "He who knows the father and the mother will be called the son of a harlot."
The child of a whore. On despising physical
Aren't we all?
connections,
So,
on Simon Magus, Helena... Okay. What is that
Well,
all
Simon
about?
Magus was in, I forget which gospel he first pops up in. Was the Gospel of John?
I think so. So
He was like
They
the magician that everyone was that he was contending with, basically.
So they have a reference to Simon Magus in the footnote here. So they say, for this line that you just read, whoever knows the father and the mother will be called the child of a whore. The footnote says, on despising physical connections, see the Gospel of Thomas 55, 101, the Book of Thomas 144. On Simon Magus, Helena, and the soul's prostitution, see for reference Irenaeus against heresies 1:23, 2. Exegesis on the soul. On the tradition of Jesus as the illegitimate child of Mary, see Origens against Celsus 1:28, 32. Perhaps also John 8:41. So I don't know why they brought up Simon Magus here. Maybe because he was involved in the story that was...
Probably. It's probably just like for a context clue, I guess.
Right. Because they're talking about the soul's prostitution, and Simon Magus wanted to buy his way into having the superpowers of the apostles.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good call there.
Yeah.
Jesus said, "When you make the two one, you will become the sons of man. And when you say, 'Mountain, move away,' it will move away."
So previously in the Gospels that we're familiar with in the canon, he uses this line that faith can move mountains.
Yeah.
Right? But here it is conditional. Here, this only occurs after you've achieved like this syzygy between these two forces.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a different approach, and perhaps explains why mountains aren't moving around.
Right, yeah, because people don't have... They listen, the only reason mountains aren't moving is because nobody has been able to combine those two aspects.
I thought it was because we needed bigger cranes or equipment.
No. We need to combine aspects of nature here.
Oh, so this is Captain Planet.
Even better.
Captain Pollution?
It's Jesus.
Has anyone seen that?
Is that a real thing?
Oh my God, yes.
That sounds hilarious.
It is. I will write that down to show you that.
Okay, that sounds so funny.
It's very short, and it is.
Okay.
All right.
Save that for after the show, folks. Look that up.
All right, so Jesus said, the kingdom is like a shepherd who had 100 sheep. One of them, the largest, went astray. He left the 99 and looked for that one until he found it. When he had gone to such trouble, he said to the sheep, I care for you more than the 99.
Yeah, and this is also referenced in the Synoptic Gospels and Ezekiel.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep, Ezekiel 34, 15 through 16.
Yeah. Jesus said, he who will drink from my mouth will become like me. I myself shall become he, and the things that are hidden will be revealed to him. Oh, shit. Is he going to, inhabit them? Because this is all metaphorically speaking. He's not actually going to drink from someone's... People are not actually going to be drinking from Jesus' mouth.
I don't know.
They will
It could be a bubbler or a water fountain.
No, that'd be pretty funny. But
well, it is the implication, right? Once he is from the pleroma. The pleroma is fullness, which means that he is still the pleroma.
Yeah.
Once you partake in the pleroma, you can't partake in part of the pleroma, because what would that even mean? The pleroma is fullness.
Right.
You cannot divide it. So
it must participate in you.
Yes. So by participating in the pleroma, you are imbibing the whole of the pleroma.
So you get all the knowledge, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, I win.
See, that is a very interesting philosophy there.
Yes.
And weirdly enough, kind of tracks.
Well, it's what happens in Gnosis.
Yeah, it is, yeah. They're making some real good points over here.
Mm-hmm.
Continuing on. Jesus said, the kingdom is like a man who has a hidden treasure in his field without knowing it. And after he died, he left it to his son. The son did not know about the treasure. He inherited the field and sold it. And the one who bought it went plowing and found the treasure. He began to lend money at interest to whomever he wished.
Ah, jeez.
What are those?
This is apparently from Midrash Rabbah.
Okay. What are those?
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Lending money at interest. That's evil.
How interesting.
Jesus said, whoever finds the world and becomes rich, let him renounce the world.
Gospel of Thomas, 27:1.
Jesus said, the heavens and the earth will be rolled up in your presence, and the one who lives from the living one will not see death. Does not Jesus say, whoever finds himself is superior to the world? He kind of said that before, yeah.
This may be a later comment incorporated into the saying.
That also makes sense. Because it is a repetition of what was there before, but also there's the thing about the corpse. Jesus said, woe to the flesh that depends on the soul, woe to the soul that depends on the flesh. His disciples said to him, when will the kingdom come? Jesus said, it will not come by waiting for it. It will not be a matter of saying, here it is, or there it is.
Here it is.
Rather, the kingdom of the Father is spread out upon the earth, and men do not see it.
Mine says, it will not be said, look, here it is, or look, there it is.
Okay.
Much better.
I like it.
Much better translation.
Simon Peter said to them, let Mary leave us, for women are... Oh, my God. This took... Okay. Simon Peter... Listen. Simon Peter said to them, let Mary leave us, for women are not worthy of life.
Oh.
That was so unexpected.
Where'd that come from? Damn. We had a pretty mundane in terms of how offensive.
It wasn't super offensive. It was kind of ridiculous.
Now it is.
But it wasn't.
So new t-shirt?
No.
No. Right?
Damn.
Ridiculous.
Jesus said, I myself shall. Oh, okay. Maybe Jesus has something good here. Okay. Jesus said, I myself shall lead her in order to make her male, so that she too may become a living spirit resembling you males. For every woman who will make herself male will enter the kingdom of heaven. What the fuck?
Although the language of the saying may be shocking to our sensitivities,
Oh my God.
the intent of the saying seems to be liberating. Here, the female may symbolize what is earthly and perishable, and the male is what is heavenly and imperishable, so that the female becoming male means that all who are mortal and of this world, men and women alike, become immortal and divine.
Yeah, right.
The Gospel of
Trans
Thomas
rights.
22 uses gender categories in a somewhat different way, but for similar purposes. See, for reference, Hippolytus' Refutation of All Heresies 5:844. Clement of Alexandria, excerpts from Theodosius 79. First Revelation of James 41. Zostianos 131. Also the second discourse of Great Seth 65, and the Gospel of Philip 58, on the Valentian concept of the female image of all of us being joined to the male angels in final union.
So the thing is, I get what they're trying to say, but also I'm sure they took it literally, because
yes,
and I guess in a literal sense, because here is what I think would have been happening. So they would have read this and they would have been like, okay, so we can't invite women into the club because really only Jesus can let them in.
Yeah.
but it could also be like outright.
They have to be spiritually a man.
No, so it's like this is the no girls club. Mary can join, but we can't have any other girls.
That's not it.
Here's the thing. So the way that I'm interpreting this, Mary is not an apostle.
Right.
The apostles have been delivered all of the secret wisdom.
So they're spiritually men.
They are not just spiritually men, but they're both spiritually men and spiritually women engaging in a syzygy, so that
they've combined the aspects.
They've combined the aspects. They're saying Mary is a woman. That's all she is.
Right, yeah.
She has not combined these aspects. And he's saying, I'm going to awaken the spiritual man within her, allowing for that syzygy so that she is one with the pleroma.
Yeah.
Right?
But I'm also very confident that they took this literally and didn't allow women in.
Yes, obviously.
I'm very confident about that.
It is easy to interpret this as a huge misogynistic segment.
Because it is. So
that's the gospel according to Thomas.
Yeah.
But I want to read you the Greek Gospel of Thomas.
Yeah.
This is in Hippolytus' Refutation of All Heresies, apparently.
And we have to remember that for those kinds of texts where they do the refutations, it's important to remember that for a lot of them, our only source of that text is from an opponent of that text. So we have to keep that in mind. So there could be misquotations. There could be cherry picking. So we have to keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so a little bit of treat for you guys. Also, if you haven't voted in the in the poll yet,
I don't want to be a referee. So please don't make me a referee.
Oh man,
I want to be
the referee.
I want to be a heel. I think it'd be really fun.
Lawrence
Look,
is
sometimes the
referee.
ref can wrestle too.
That is true. I could at least still go
your
through a table.
character could be a referee.
Okay, so I could be a heel referee maybe.
Maybe
I could like screw one of you out of a win or something.
And
I could do like a slow count.
like a slow count and
Yeah. Yeah, right. I could do that.
yeah. Anyways, Greek
Thank
Gospel
you.
of
See,
Thomas.
Ryan believes. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
These are the hidden sayings that the living Jesus spoke, and Judas, who is called Thomas, recorded. And he said, whoever finds the interpretation of these sayings will not taste death. Jesus says, let one who seeks not stop seeking until one finds. When one finds, one will be astonished, and having been astonished, one will reign. And having reigned, one will rest. Wow, that's Yoda-like. Jesus says, if your leaders say to you, look, the kingdom is in heaven, the birds of heaven will precede you. If they say that it is under the earth, the fish of the sea will enter and will precede you. And God's kingdom is inside you and outside you. Whoever knows oneself will find this, and when you know yourselves, you will understand that you are children of the living Father. But if you do not know yourselves, you are in poverty, and you are poverty.
Whoa.
So far, this seems to just be like the main bullet points of the Coptic.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so. It is shorter too, but significantly.
Yeah.
Jesus says, a person old in days will not hesitate to ask a little child 7 days old about the place of life and the person will live. For many of the first will be last, and the last first, and they will become one. Jesus says, Jesus says, know what is before your face, and what is hidden from you will be disclosed to you. For there is nothing hidden that will not become apparent, and nothing buried that will not be raised. His disciples ask him and say, how shall we fast? How shall we pray? How shall we give to charity? What diet shall we observe? Jesus says, do not lie. Do not do what you hate, because all things are disclosed before truth. For there's nothing hidden that will not be apparent. Possible restoration. Blessed is the lion that a human eats, and the lion will be human, and cursed is the human that a lion eats. Possible restoration. There is a light within the person of light, and it shines on the whole of the world. If it does not shine, then it is dark. Now back to the main text. And you will see clearly to take out the speck that is in your brother's eye. Jesus said, if you do not fast from the world, you will not find God's kingdom. And if you do not observe the Sabbath as a Sabbath, you will not see the Father. Jesus says, I took my hand in the midst of the world, and in flesh I appeared to them. I found them all drunk. I found none of them thirsty. My soul aches for the children of humanity because they are blind in their hearts and do not see. Textual break. Comes to dwell in this poverty. There's a lot of brackets here, by the way.
Yeah, I bet.
Jesus says, where there are three, they are without God. And where there's only one, I say I am with that one. Lift up the stone and you'll find me there. Split the piece of wood and I'm there. Jesus says a prophet is not acceptable in the prophet's hometown, nor does doctor perform healings on those who know the doctor.
So yeah, that part was from the Gospels directly, right?
Yes.
But the middle section that we went over, after I noted how it just seems like a summary, some of that stuff doesn't quite line up.
It's not quite the same, no.
Yeah. At least with the philosophies presented, not just like textually, but
No, but I can feel it as a similar writing with a much accelerated pace.
well, no, I get that, right? But like I understand that it's a lot of it seems like a summary, right? But I just feel like some of those middle lines aren't quite what the Gospel of Thomas was going for.
No, it's abbreviated and it's somebody
Yeah.
else's view.
Yes. Well, somebody else's he's trying to Iron Man them, right? Because it's called Iron Man.
Right.
Yeah. So the opposite of Strongman.
Iron
so
Man.
I think
Steelman.
Steelman. Thank you. Oh my God, I said
Steelman.
Iron Man. So yeah, Steelman. Actually, you know what? Shouldn't it be Iron Man?
Steel is harder?
No, but like it's first of all, it's cooler and easier to remember.
I think
Yeah,
steel manning predates like the cultural Iron Man thing.
Oh, really? Okay, I guess so. That makes
Okay.
sense. Like I know that the concept existed, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know about when actually the name came around.
Yeah.
Probably the 30s when they made the comic.
Yeah, right. That's what they
Right,
were like.
right.
Oh man, we got to we're philosophers and we got to compete with this.
Look, I'm going to continue on here. Jesus says, a city built on top of a high hill and fortified can neither fall nor be hidden. Jesus says, what you hear in one ear of yours, proclaim. Textual break.
Wow.
My favorite textual break so far is coming up. Jesus says, do not worry from morning to nightfall, nor from evening to morning, either about your food, what you will eat, or about your robe, what clothing you will wear. You are much better than the lilies, which do not card or spin. And since you have one article of clothing, what? You? Yes, there is a textual break after what and after you. There's a note. A previous reading of the Greek text of this saying allowed for the following translation. As for you, when you have no garment, what will you put on?
Oh, okay. What, you?
What?
What you?
You? Who might add to your stature? That is the one who will give you your clothing. His disciples said to him, when will you be revealed to us, and when will you see you? He says, when you strip off your clothing and are not ashamed, and will not be afraid. Jesus says, often you have desired to hear these sayings of mine, and you have no one else from whom to hear them. And there will come a day when you will seek me and you will not find me. Jesus says, the Pharisees and the scholars have taken the keys of knowledge. They themselves have hidden them. Neither have they entered, nor have they allowed those who are in the process of entering to enter. As for you, be as shrewd as snakes and as innocent as doves. Hippolytus.
I don't think those two can go together.
Yeah. But Hippolytus has two more sayings that are included in this.
Sting like a butterfly, float like a bee.
Yeah. Hippolytus has two more sayings that are in refutation of all heresies, 5:720 and 5:832, which are reportedly from this piece, but which did not feature. So those sayings are, 1 who seeks will find me in children from 7 years, for there, hidden in the 14th age, I am revealed, or age or aeon.
Sure.
And 2, if you ate dead things and made them living, what will you do if you eat living things?
Ooh, okay. I guess that's a weird form of logic. Anyways, so that's all the readings for the day.
We finished the book, both versions. What do you think? What do you think of the book?
A lot of Matthew references.
Unfortunately, not as exciting as I want it to be, but there is an interesting amount of philosophical treatises, at least. Some of them kind of drown. They go on about the same thing. I don't know. I mean, I'd probably give it a 6.
Yeah, that bit at the end where he says, "Women are not worthy of life."
Wow, that was unexpected.
Yeah, that was bad.
So I'm thinking we don't have that as the thing people say at the end of the stream.
Go Captain Pollution.
Yes, go Captain Pollution.
Yeah, fine. Go Captain Pollution.
If you watch to this point in the video, not the stream, the video,
right?
Post in the comment section, go Captain Pollution, in order to let us know that you got this far.
And I see 13 viewers right now. I should see at least 13 likes.
And I should see at least 13 more votes in the poll.
Let's give them one more minute.
True, yeah.
Yes, you have 1 minute to vote in the poll. You better make the most of it. Now, let me tell you about what we got going on. We got something called a Patreon. And if you go on there, you better just beware of all the deals that you're going to get. So,
damn straight, good looking shirts that you could enter giveaways for,
or you could just click on the pinned T-shirt that's going up right now.
That's a classic T-shirt right there.
Yep, right there.
Oh, it's actually one of our newer ones, but it's really good. So the thing about the Patreon, you know what else is on there? You could be on the show.
You could be on the show.
You could join our Hangouts.
Yep. You could have the patron tag in our Discord channel.
True.
Hey, go to the Discord if you're not there yet.
Right. Hey, Chris, can you do, or can someone in chat drop an exclamation point Discord? It'll make it pop up.
Yes. Exclamation point Discord.
Yeah. So go ahead and join that.
Do it.
So let's see.
So it looks like you're the referee.
Looks like I'm going to be the referee.
I guess I'll be the
heel referee.
Yes, you're the heel referee.
I'm going to be a heel referee. Oof. So who's going to be the face?
We'll vote on it next time.
Yeah,
next time we'll vote for Ruben.
Next time.
Okay, yeah, we'll see. We'll get something worked out. Let's see what else we got going on. We have obviously the shirts that you could just go to Teespring and get. We also have Facebook and Twitter.
We have an Amazon wish list.
That too.
It's full of books. Check it out.
Yeah, link is in the description for that.
Yeah. And you could be a member on YouTube too.
That too.
And you can just give us money. Remember, according to Maimonides, the best possible charity that you could ever give, keep in mind this is Maimonides saying this, is giving money to Jews.
Yeah, best possible thing you could do.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you everyone for joining us. Please join the Discord and stuff, and all the other stuff. And go Captain Pollution. We will See you on Sunday.